Hey guys, welcome back to White Pine Living. I have kind of a special little thing going on today. My friend Brigettebb came in to hang out with us, and she is the regional commissioner for the Steptoe Valley Soccer Club. If you didn't already know, a lot of you do know that. But so how long have you been doing that?
So I've only been the regional commissioner for 2 years, but I've been actively involved with Steptoe Valley Soccer Club for 12 years.
Holy
So from
moly.
the time my oldest was 4 years old, I got so excited because I really wanted her to play soccer, and I ended up being the treasurer and then being very involved. And we didn't always used to be involved with AYSO. Steptoe Valley Soccer Club we were a bunch of parents that just had reversible jerseys, and we put teams together. And it was about 5 or 6 years ago, Bob Dugan, I don't know if you know him, he moved into the area and he said, I'd love to help and I'd love to move us into the direction of AYSO soccer.
Nice.
And of course, he did all of the background as far as getting us involved. And one of the benefits of AYSO is we get liability insurance,
Excellent.
which you have to have,
Yeah.
and as a group. And before that, I was using sports insurance, and it was rather expensive. And then so we have insurance. You have background checks on all our volunteers, and so that's a really cool thing because that keeps our kids safe. We have access to really inexpensive uniforms, and they're so cute. They have the matching socks and the jerseys, and then we have training. We have any kind of resource we want. Plus, we have the web page. We have the online registration, and we have a lot of perks that come with AYSO.
You guys put a lot of work into getting organized and getting serious. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and like I said, Bob did the background. He's the one that started it and got us in that direction. And then there's been some tinkering along the way as far as getting the website up and going, getting things to where they're a little bit more seamless.
Okay. So the reason that we're here in the studio, Bridget contacted me. She has a problem she needs some help with. What's
I
going
do
on?
have a problem. So 12 years in the program, and my kids have either aged out of the program or they're not interested in the program any longer. So as a mother, I need to go where my kids are.
Yeah.
So last year was my last year with Steptoe Valley Soccer Club, and I've made that known for some time. But now we don't have anyone to take that position, to take that leadership position. So Steptoe Valley Soccer is without a leader,
Wow,
without someone to take it to the 2018 season.
that's kind of a problem.
It's a big problem. It's a big problem because if we don't get somebody now, AYSO might drop us, and we lose all of that great stuff that I just talked about. And then the other thing is that sometimes it's not an issue of people not wanting to volunteer or take it, but I think that a lot of people think, well, someone else will do it.
Yeah. Well, it also sounds a little complicated. Regional commissioners, kind of a
Yeah,
big
it sounds like a big
so-
title, doesn't
So
it?
let's talk about like the responsibilities, how much time involved,
Okay.
what's going on with that.
So obviously last year was a little bit more time consuming than what it would be this year, because last year they switched registration dates, they switched websites, they switched, there was a lot of changes last year. And
Okay.
so that took a ton of time on my part, trying to build the web page, trying to get the online registration, trying to get the bank accounts to where they were matching, things like that. And we do have a board. So Shalia Hansen is our treasurer, and she does a really nice job of, because we can't obviously have somebody, I can't obviously be the treasurer and the regional commissioner and, everything. And we have lots of people that help with fields.
Nice.
We have lots of people that help with just the, organizing of the equipment. But then also we have tons of people that volunteer for coaching.
Wonderful.
And we're always asking for coaches. And so, and people have done a really, really nice job with the coaching and with the helping with fields. And so there's not just me doing this,
Okay.
but you do have to have somebody that's going to take the leadership role,
Okay.
because that keeps the program going.
So that means, so a lot of that stuff has been done last year.
Yeah, and
so
we-
now you're just making decisions and helping to keep things.
Yes, and so
going.
whoever takes that position, I have a really nice guide of month by month what needs to happen.
Oh, that's excellent.
And I have phone numbers, I have websites, I have our bank account, I have everything mapped out so that if I can give it to somebody and work them through it, it's going to be pretty seamless. It really is going to be a nice transition. And it won't be a ton of work. You can delegate when you know what's coming coming up next, you can get your friends and other parents to help and get them going. So the most time-consuming thing really is when the season is going, the registration and the putting teams together, putting the schedule together, that kind of thing, and getting coaches. That's the most time-consuming thing. What I learned last year was people really like our Steptoe Valley Soccer Facebook page. I would put the schedule every week of who was playing, and it just seemed like a really nice way to communicate. And then that cut down on the amount of phone calls and texts I had because everything was just written out every month. And so if you do a little pre-planning and communication, like it's really a lot easier.
Okay, so we're talking like 2-3 hours a week kind of stuff? Or?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes a little bit more depending, because as we know with any organization, sometimes there's little things that flare up here and there. But then what I learned also is if you just take care of it immediately, it's done, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. So
you shouldn't procrastinate?
You shouldn't procrastinate, yes. I learned that. It took me 12 years to learn that.
Oh, man. Okay, so what's the timeline in terms of like a deadline when this needs to be done?
So Steptoe Valley Soccer really needs someone to step up as soon as possible, and I'd say April is the final deadline, because April is when the season actually starts. People don't understand that we actually start doing the behind the scenes work for the season in April and getting everything organized, and then the season doesn't start until September.
Probably even by the middle of March would be better to...
Yeah, it would absolutely be better. If I can get somebody right now, I can work with them, and I don't have a problem even answering my phone all through this soccer season as far as like what needs to be done. But we just need somebody to do it.
Okay, that's easy enough. So I suppose they would contact you.
Yeah, and so we have the Steptoe Valley Soccer page, and they can contact me through that. Or my email is brigettebb@sbcglobal.net. And so go ahead and email me right away. And the thing I want to say is I understand everybody's busy, because we live in this community and we have some really cool things for kids.
Yeah.
But it all takes volunteers. And so there's some of us that are volunteering for multiple organizations. And so I know it's like, okay, no, I do not have another minute. But the thing is that if you have kids involved in this and you want to keep it going, then you absolutely need to look and see if you have a little bit of time to dedicate to it.
That's awesome. Okay, guys. Well, I think that's enough info that you should be able to at least either make the decision yourself or find somebody that would be interested. We really appreciate your help, and we will see you next time.